Unboxing and debuting a new Joe is one thing. Having it roasted by a real Marine is something completely different. Stay tuned for a real Marine to review my new G.I. Joe classified figure. Can you guess which character's in the line of fire? Up next on PopCon. Welcome back to PopCon, everybody. A salute to all pop culture, but mostly the 80s. I'm your G1 or Generation 1 host, Victor, and I've got a treat for you today. I am revealing a brand new G.I. Joe classified action figure, and after the unboxing, I've got a real Marine to give him inspection. Let's see just how far the fiction went in depicting these special mission forces with authenticity or complete fantasy. If you like this kind of content, please press subscribe right now. Oh, wait. After the show, like, subscribe, comment, anything to give me that support so I can keep giving you this content. Well, you know, when I said Marine, I bet a lot of you out there knew exactly what action figure I was talking about. And if you didn't, that's okay. Who cares? We're about to get into it right now. I'm so excited for this show and having a real Marine on board. You could say that I'm gung-ho about the whole thing. That's right. It's Gung-Ho, the original G.I. Joe, a real American hero, Marine from 1983's original debut. This is Gung-Ho in the G.I. Joe classified version. So let's talk about this real quick. He looks like it comes with a lot of accessories. We'll be getting into some of those weaponry with our expert in just a moment. But let's take a look at the artwork. Now, the back artwork is, as usual, the artwork that depicts for the entire line a lot of characters that we've already seen released and some hints at others still to come. Now, this line actually has some sublines as well, like Cobra Island, as well as for the Snake Eyes movie that comes out at the end of this month. So I'll be seeing Snake Eyes. Will you? Let me know. So we're going to get into this, but let's talk quickly about the other artwork on the front. As we know with these boxes, they have individual artists come in and do original artwork. This is by James Payek, and I hope I'm saying that right. Payek, gorgeous portrait right here. These paintings are so beautiful. You really get a sense of the feeling that Gung-Ho is in. But if you turn away to the corner artwork where it's a little more of a distance shot, and he's holding his arm in a way that I feel like he's leading a group of men into battle. You see in the background up ahead or at the top, you see some helicopters as well as some palm trees. Gives me full Vietnam or Miss Saigon vibes, actually. Gorgeous artwork on all of these action figures, and you can find them online. So I love looking at the artwork first. I know we can find it, but I want Gung-Ho out of the package. So we're going to dig right in, right? We know how this is done. I just pop it open like that. Fold it. We get ready. Ready for this. We're going to pull it out. There he is. All right, so here we have Gung-Ho in his plastic. This is going to be easy to get in. I see right now he's got his day bag, his backpack here, as well as 3 weapons that I cannot tell you what they are, but I do have someone that will. So let's get him out of here. So there we go. So Gung-Ho out of the package. We know what we do. We're done with this, right? I don't even pop out the legalese. It didn't fall out this time. So anyway, don't need to cover it or close it back up. It's going in the trash. Awesome, let's get on with this. So like I said, we have Gung-Ho here. Can you see him? Pretty cool. Love that hair. We're going to find out if that's legit, if that's regulation. We'll go ahead and put on his cap. It looks very familiar. Like I said, Gung-Ho was released in the original toy line in 1983 as the Joe's first original Marine. He's got some other accessories here. But like I said, let's see how authentic Gung-Ho stands up to a real Marine. See if he's got the right weaponry, the right uniform, the right look overall. You ready? Let's go. Here we go. All right, everybody. Welcome back to PopCon. I've got a former Marine with us. This is Ryan. Ryan, thanks for being here at PopCon.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to do this.
So you've heard of G.I. Joe, right?
Oh, of course. When I was a kid, I had many action figures.
Very cool. So here as an adult collector, I collect G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe Classified is this brand, this toy line right now. And I got my newest one, and I've unboxed him today. But I thought it would be fun to have a former Marine kind of evaluate and review the action figure for authenticity, realism, and all-out fiction. So hope you're ready for it.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, so tell me a minute first. You were a Marine for 4 years. Where did you start as a Marine? Where did you travel?
So I started off in Southern Cali. I ended up going from boot camp straight to 29 Palms, California, which is still in Southern Cali. We were an artillery battalion, so we supported the grunts during training. We taught other artillery battalions in other countries how to be more efficient in their shoots. And then we would do A humanitarian aid. Earthquake tsunami that hit Japan was one of our biggest humanitarian aids. The efforts that we went, brought food, helped with the cleanup, did all that.
You know, I respect every man and woman in the military. It's something I couldn't do, never really wanted to do, but everybody who goes through that, from the training to actually getting out there and being boots on the ground. So thank you very much for being part of that and being part of this. So I know it's not taken lightly, but here I am talking about a toy that's a Marine, and here we go. So G.I. Joe, when you hear the term, without thinking of the toy, is that a term still used in the military, a Joe? I mean, obviously G.I.
In the Army, mean? Yes. Marines,
That's
we call each other Marines.
Okay.
That G.I. Joes, that's a Marine or a Army term that Marines don't like to associate themselves with.
Got it. So they're probably pissed that there's a Marine in G.I. Joe. So G.I. Joe was definitely was all encompassing military, even in the 60s. But in the toy line and the storyline back in the early 80s, their first Marine and the main Marine for a long time was a character named Gung-Ho. So we're going to start with kind of an image of him from his first incarnation. So I'm going to share my screen and I hope this works. Okay.
Okay.
Do you see this nice image, this painting?
Yes, I do.
So here is a Marine, the first actual artwork done to market this toy, and he is their Marine on the G.I. Joes. What's the image? What do you think first?
Wow. I don't know what to say about that.
Would you have ever seen a Marine like this?
No, in no circumstance.
So I'm guessing this is totally out of Marine look.
Very, very much, yes.
Is the hat even close to a military hat? Because me being totally non-military, it looks like one.
Yes, that is a garrison cover, which we don't wear in combat situations. It's something you'd wear back, here in the States while you're in your uniform.
Okay. So while you're in uniform, so you would wear the garrison cap uniform. Now I see camo. Camo's fairly basic. How are these camo pants?
It's before my time. We currently have the digital, yes. Woodlands, digital desert. I believe it was Operation Desert Storm was one of the last times the military used that type of camo pattern.
That's cool. I like the little history lesson. Thank you. But at least there was camo, and that's true. Now, the things he's holding are on his body. Do you recognize them from a real world point of view?
I'm having trouble with the weapon. I'm torn between some kind of shotgun and possibly a handheld grenade launcher.
I feel like grenade launcher only because of his leg.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Are those just grab one, shove it in, shoot it out?
Possibly, yeah.
All right. This was an original file card. Every character came with a file card. And Gung-Ho is, of course, a code name. They all had it. And I'm going to butcher his real name they gave him. And this was really cool at the time because Marvel Comics writers wrote these backstories way back in the early 80s. And it's followed them all the way through today. So around 30 years later, I'm going to say it's Etienne R. Lafitte, but that might be his real name. But they say his military specialty was recondo. Is that short for reconnaissance? Is that an old word for it?
It must be an old word because it does not ring a bell for me.
All right. What about grade E7 sergeant? Is that still a term?
E7 would be a gunnery sergeant. So, yeah. Gunnery sergeants would get quite offended if you would just call them sergeant. That'd be an E5. You have sergeant, staff sergeant, gunnery sergeant being E7.
Oh, got it. So they'd want that extra prefix, right?
Yes.
Attended airborne school, recondo school, and Marine ordnance school. Any of those real?
Yes, and yes.
Oh, nice.
So tell me about if you, so he's clearly an East Coast Marine going to Paris Island. Airborne school, that's kind of a specialty. There's no field in the Marine Corps that specializes in, jump school, jumping out of planes, anything like that. It would be we're a smaller branch, so he would definitely, as it says there, it'd be more of a special forces thing.
Okay. So it all says all NATO infantry, small arms, and most Warsaw Pact infantry weapons. XM76 grenade launcher, which I'm guessing is what he's holding. Again, this is probably old. Are there still grenade launchers? Is it even a weapon that a Marine would use at any time?
Yes, yes. We have several different versions, including one that attaches to the bottom of our M16s. Infantry have a lot more diverse training when it comes to weapons, whether it's grenade launchers, heavy machine guns, so on and so forth.
Years later, Gung-Ho was actually given a military look, over an overhaul. And just curious if you can see it. Besides, they were giving away a free figure of the Fridge, the football player there at the bottom. That was the refrigerator Perry. This dress uniform, is this still similar to what today's dress uniform might be?
Yes, that's the dress blues. I have mine downstairs still.
Including a saber. Would you get that sword as well?
That would be for people who practice for parades or who are selected for color guard, stuff like that.
Here's a good clear picture of the figure that I've just unboxed, added to my collection. So this is modern Gung-Ho. So of course, he's been around for years. So I think that they're taking something they created in the early 80s, try to make it fit today. Again, we all know it's very fantasy of a Marine, but let's see. What overall stands out as realistic first?
Realistic?
Anything?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot there. Realistic. He's wearing boots and pants. So
oh God, that's good. You guys, you still wear boots and pants. Do you ever wear a vest? If you do, is there a shirt?
I do wear the Molly vest, which he currently has on, but we always have a cover or a blouse underneath it, long sleeve shirt to cover ourselves, whether we're in a desert environment or jungle.
Okay, so makes sense, but he's too jacked to wear a shirt, apparently, right? I mean, he's gonna bust right through there.
You got to show off those abs.
And that tattoo. So let's quickly go to tattoo. I see a bird on Earth and some, beautiful design underneath. Anything? Would you have seen a tattoo like this? Is getting a tattoo ritualistic still? Talk about that.
Tattoos are tattoos. It's all about the individual.
Yeah.
When I was in, a lot of people were really motivated about their unit and would go get it tattooed somewhere on their body.
Is there any rules about getting tattoos? No, I mean, can't get them on your face. I'm still thinking that that's probably true.
Yes, that's correct. Basically, if you can have it covered with your t-shirt and shorts, you're good to go. When you're in the military, you belong to the military. You are the property of the U.S. government, and you don't want to damage U.S. property.
Great way to put it. Talk briefly about hair and haircuts.
Marine Corps is the standard you'll see is a high and tight, but there are different regulations. That is completely acceptable. What he has, his mustache though, is completely out of regs. Cannot extend past the edges of your lips or the edge of your mouth.
I like his better. I really do. So from here, we see kind of a full array of him in combat, wearing a backpack as well. He also has some sort of comm link on his vest. I'm guessing that's not normal, but there are ways to communicate. Take a look at this whole ensemble. What are your thoughts on what he's carrying, what he's wearing, how he's using it, what they are? Thoughts?
No, and no.
Okay, got it. There's nothing real.
He is holding a grenade launcher, and at that range, once his round hits the individual and detonates, he's going to get a lot of shrapnel and backblast.
He should just be using a handgun, I think, right here at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we still think those are grenades on his thigh strap, or what is that?
From my observation, it looks like he has 3 smoke grenades on his thigh and 3 fragmentation grenades on his shoulder.
You are so smart about smoke grenades because that was written in one of those file cards. And I didn't know what it was. It was like, they did say smoke grenade. They got something right. Way to go, Joe. I did find the other file card that actually says at the bottom, smoke bomb grenade. So a JV9P3. Any of those real?
I'm not good with grenade nomenclatures. I didn't use them much outside of training during my time in the Marine Corps, but it could be.
What about this other accoutrement you see on him? I see some other things I've never seen before.
Well, my eyes were actually first attracted to his arsenal right here. His 3 weapons of choice.
Okay.
He has a grenade launcher. He has the Israeli Tavor, and he's holding a futuristic version of maybe a Mossberg 500.
All right, so there's some reality from what they've created. They've created these from some reality, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
What about this other stuff they've added to him?
Oh, well, I'm looking at his shin guards, and he must be an avid soccer player because no Marine wears shin guards while in a combat situation, training. Those aren't a thing.
Those
But
aren't
you
a
never
thing.
know when a soccer match might break out.
What about that wrist?
It screams tomorrow war to me. You know, did he just get drafted? Is he going to be pulled into the future and fight for us?
If I was Chris Pratt, I'd want Gung-Ho by my side. So that's awesome. So right there, that again, probably like the shins. Totally, what the hell is that, right? Was later in time, G.I. Joe introduced another Marine called Leatherneck. Now, I see a shirt for one, but just real quick, not real deep dive. Do you see a better equipped Marine?
Absolutely. This individual right here is actually carrying proper equipment, is dressed properly. His garrison cover can go. He just needs a Kevlar, and he is set.
So he'd really need a combat helmet. In this stance, he'd most likely be in combat, and he'd wear a different helmet, a Kevlar helmet, you said?
That's correct. That's the only thing he's missing, and he is a combat-ready Marine. So if I were to just break down what he has on him,
yeah,
a standard Mossberg 500 shotgun carries 5 rounds in the tube in it. So let's say the shotgun has the 5 rounds. I don't see any other ammo for the shotgun on him. So he's going into combat with 5 rounds for a shotgun. I'm staring at his Tavor, his rifle, bottom left. I see it has a mag in it, and I see 3 pouches on his vest that could possibly hold 3 more. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 12. He has 120 rounds on him for his Tavor, a standard Marine loadout being 210 rounds, 7 mags of 30. So he's definitely not prepared. He's not even at the bare minimum standard loadout. And then I stare at his grenade launcher there, which holds six grenades. Nowhere else on him do I see any extra rounds for it. So he has 6 rounds for his grenade launcher, 5 rounds for his shotgun, and 120 rounds for his rifle. He's not quite equipped for a full combat situation. So I was staring at this, and I can't help but notice that on his shotgun there, he only has one sight. It happens to be the rear sight. So when you want to actually aim your weapon and hit it accurately, you need a front and rear sight to line up to make sure your shot's going to go where it's going to go. I stare at his other weapons there. I see his Tavor only has a front sight and not a rear. So if we're talking about a combat effective Marine, he may have missed his opportunity at neutralizing a target.
Being that this was a cartoon in the 80s and nobody got hit, probably makes total sense that they didn't have these sights and they were really bad aims. Or they're just so good they don't need it.
Yeah. He's a talented individual. He doesn't even need a vest.
That's why they're in G.I. Joe, a special missions force, unfortunately called an army name. So I'd probably feel offended if I was Gung-Ho. Everybody out there, we know this is all in fun. He's not a real guy and he's not a real soldier, but a lot of fun to see that there's so much, this franchise was huge. It never let go. It's never gone away, and it never seems to be going away. So we love it. We love G.I. Joe. It's that one military toy that anyone that's not military falls in love with, which is pretty peculiar. So it's neat to actually get a Marine's point of view, take a look. It's kind of fun to go over that and say, hey, what's really authentic or not? Even if these are fictional characters, it's cool to see what they got right. But it sounds like mostly it's wrong.
Yeah, any Marine would be triggered by witnessing that individual.
Please don't be triggered. Thankfully, we are totally apart on different sides of the country, actually. So, well, that's great. I hope you had a nice time.
Oh, I did. This is absolutely fun.
So I'm going to add him to my toy shelf, say thank you very much for joining us on PopCon. And great. Thank you again then, and see you later.
Have a good day.
Let's talk about this action figure a little bit. He is excellent. He is beautifully detailed. He looks great. Great face. Amazing. His hands are a bit tight. They're in that firing position. You really have to shove those guns in there to get them in, to get them in the trigger area. They're also kind of difficult to put on the backpack, but very little complaints. My biggest is that he's huge. Not just his noggin, his whole body. Compared to Flint and Lady J, I can understand the Flint difference, but Lady J's head, maybe she's got the too small of a head compared here. Zartan and him seem to be a relative. Cobra Commander, a bit small. Putting Lady J there, She might be just a little smaller, no less tough, but that's my biggest complaint. Well, how'd you like that? That was pretty amazing, right? Now, I know this was all in fun. We know G.I. Joe is a special mission force, and there's a lot of combinations of military forces and a lot of gear that regular military might not have, right? But it was fun to have an expert. We heard it from an expert's mouth exactly how Gung-Ho would fare up in today's Marine Corps. But it was a lot of fun to review him in that way and look at all the fancy pictures and the accessories about Gung-Ho. What did you think? What was most interesting to you about that? Let me know in the comments below. As a matter of fact, let me know who you're looking forward to next. Who do you want to learn? I will say I've got a new figure that just arrived. This guy was a good guy. We've got a Cobra villain coming up next. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Thanks for joining me for this great review and debut. I'm going to leave you a picture of Gung-Ho with the rest of the gang on the toy shelf behind me. Until next time.